Snickers may satisfy people, but it takes brains to satisfy zombies, or zombs, as Tom Sawyer and the other characters who populate The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and the Undead by Don Borchett and Mark Twain call them. In this book, you'll find practically the entire novel Mark Twain wrote, plus the added fun of there being zombies included to shake things up. Since Twain wrote most of this novel, that's why him and Don Borchett authorized this book. It is highly entertaining, page-turning read that you're sure to like if you enjoyed reading Mark Twain's original story. Zombie, or some plague, has infected the dead in the United States, and the world is overrun by a zombie virus. But does a minor thing like that get in the way of boyish pranks and having fun? Of course not. All the humorous scenes from Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer are here, just with that extra added twist. For instance, Tom doesn't have to worry about whitewashing Aunt Polly's fence. Instead, he tricks his friends into sharpening fence posts to lethal points to repel a zombie attack, and makes them pay him an odd assortment of treasures for the honor, like apples. The quote from the book says, "Besides the treasures already mentioned, he had 12 marbles, a variety of staringly white zombie teeth ranked out of a pyre, a piece of broken blue glass that was said to have come from a burnt-down church, a piece of chalk, a glass stomper from a liquid decanter, the last edition of a one-page newspaper from a small town nearby, entirely burned down and raised by the zombie, a tin soldier, a brass doorknob, the handles of a broken knife, several prayer cards and people killed in earlier attacks, and a handful of firecrackers." A problem that I had with the book is that no matter how delightful it is and full of boyhood mischief, I had to ask myself how much of that was due to Don Borchett's edition, or how much of it was from the original book by Mark Twain. To me, in judging how good a story like this is, knowing how much each author contributes is very important. Honestly, I'd say 80% of this novel was written by Mark Twain, and it is largely a great book to read because the original novel was and still is a fantastic book that everyone should read. But Borchett's edition did add the fun. Becky and Jim Thatcher are here, Aunt Polly and the Widow Douglas, Injun Joe, and all the other characters in Twain's classic work, including Huckleberry Finn. Injun Joe is as murderous and scary as ever. I liked his comments to a Confederate of his that Tom sees Joe strangle to death from where he is hiding. Injun Joe says, "It was time. You were way overdue. But now it's over. No more hunger. No more thirst. It's all been slotted off. You're better than you were an hour ago." The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and the Undead by Don Borchett and Mark Twain has all the adventure, action, and the humor of the original, with a little added bite that only the Undead can provide. I highly recommend it to people who like Mark Twain's original classic, or anyone who likes humor-laced zombie novel. It is a lot of fun to read, and despite some violence by both Injun Joe and a lot of it's a novel that anyone upper elementary school age and up will enjoy reading. That is all.